For me, I think Stravinsky, in a very clear way, is, if you like, the Beethoven figure of the 20th century, the standout kind of grand master of the 20th century. I mentioned earlier on the explosive, extraordinary early work, the Firebird, Petrushka and the Rite of Spring. The three of them are sort of triumvirate of pieces that he wrote between 1909 and 1912. And they're like three leaps of a ballet dancer, incredible, incredible pieces that define him as the leading figure in Europe by 1913, when The Rite of Spring was premiered. This is somewhat equivalent to the Beethoven of the Eroica Symphony and that extraordinary spate of masterpieces around 1800. Beethoven and Stravinsky were relatively comparable ages, around the age of 30, suddenly exploded into this incredible career-defining series of masterpieces. And like Beethoven, he then progressed on to a marvellous, astonishing set of symphonies, all of them redefining what a symphony might be, each one. And I'll elaborate on this in future, but I think all these symphonies, I don't mean the early symphony in E-flat, which is an apprentice piece, I mean symphonies of wind instruments, symphony of psalms, the symphony in C, and the symphony in three movements, all amazing and in many ways interconnected pieces, and I'll explain this another time. You also get a wonderful set of ballets, incredible masterpieces like Oedipus Rex, which is a utterly bizarre but wonderful work. And then right at the culmination in 1951 of his career, he writes his first proper full-length opera, and a bit like Beethoven's Fidelio, it is a masterpiece, and it's really, I would say, great. It's a greater work than Fidelio. I think The Rake's Progress is one of the great works of the 20th century and one of the great operas of history, I would say. Staggering in its wit, but also in its complexity and in its sense of tragedy. And its wonderful melodic gift, which is so exquisite. For a work in 1951, unbelievable. And then right at the end of his life, he withdraws into the arcana of the late serial pieces. Fascinating works, rather strange, mysterious, but fascinating to see him engaging with the language of young musicians and 12-note rows and all that kind of thing. And it really isn't for everybody. These works are complex and strange, but they are a fascinating signing off. Let me know what you think about Stravinsky in the comments below.